Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Harley Quinn Episode 6. So, yeah, we're here with another episode of Harley Quinn. It's been a while, as with a lot of things, let's be honest, pretty much everything. Last we left off, they had been searching for a new place to live, and they finally found their lair in an old shopping mall. And apparently they're going to be working with Ivy's old landlord as well. Okay. Because that's the thing. It's like, if that's the case, why couldn't they have just convinced him to stay? I don't know. It just seems like it just seems a little ridiculous in that matter. I don't know. But this entire show is ridiculous, to be fair. Now, as I believe I said last time, I do know a couple things going forward, but I'm not going to talk about them now because, one, I could forget in that time, and two, I just don't want to bring them up and, like, risk anything more being revealed, possibly. So, yeah, we are going to just ignore that for now, and I'll let you know what it is once we get to it. Otherwise, yeah, I know nothing about this episode, except I do know what part of the title is. Yeah, only part of the title, because I only saw it very, very briefly. I know it has something to do with Gordon. That's pretty much all I know. I don't know the full context of the title, because I didn't actually read the title. It's just I kind of saw it. I kind of glanced at it briefly. So I don't know exactly what it says, but I know something about Gordon is on there. Now, Gordon in this series has been portrayed pretty interestingly because he's being shown as likely overworked, definitely super constantly stressed out, and probably very high on coffee. Let's be honest here. The dude is drinking way too much coffee. But it's an interesting portrayal because usually Gordon, of course, is a very well put together individual. It's actually one of the reasons why Batman respects him so much, why Bruce respects and works with him so often, because he sees Gordon as a good cop, a genuinely good cop in a city that's corrupt. He sees him as able to keep his cool, able to keep his wits about him, able to make the right decisions when other detectives, such as Harvey Bullock, for example, are a little more prone to acting out, let's put it that way. So it's like he sees Gordon as kind of this pillar of what it means to be a cop, especially in Gotham City. So it's kind of interesting seeing him portrayed this way. And I'm not saying that in this version Batman doesn't still respect Gordon. He probably does. And Gordon's probably still like the Gordon we know and love in terms of his abilities as a detective. He's probably still a very good cop, all things considered. But all we've seen of him really so far is the more comical side that this series is portraying him in. Again, the possibly overworked and definitely overcaffeinated side. Which, I mean, is fine. It's funny, and it led to some really hilarious lines, but I kind of want to see him when he's just Commissioner Gordon, just doing his best and being good at it. I want to see the Gordon that Batman sees, basically. That's my hope for this series, that we kind of get that eventually. But even if we don't, as long as they still have fun with this version, I'll be fine. But yeah, I don't know fully what to expect with this episode outside of Gordon, I assume, being in it, unless that's kind of the joke. That would be really fun, actually. If Gordon actually does not appear in this episode once, despite his name being in the title, that would actually be kind of hilarious. And I feel it's something that Harley Quinn would pull off. Um, as for what else the episode could be about, like, I have no clue. Is Harley going to kidnap Gordon? Is Harley going to ransom him or ransom a member of his family? Or what's going to happen here? It's like, I don't know, like, maybe Harley's not even going to be involved. Maybe Gordon's going to have his own thing going on as sort of one of two plots in the episode, while Harley's just doing whatever else to try and continue to get back at the Joker. I don't know. It's hard to say exactly where this is going to go because, again, I go in spoiler free, so I don't know anything. I have no clue where this is going. But I'm excited to see more. I am excited to see more, and I hope that it ends up being pretty awesome. I was thinking about doing 2 episodes today, but I think we're just going to keep it to 1 because I do want to get to glitch text as well. Mainly just because I want to make sure I get to everything this week. I just want to. We had a couple weeks pretty much off. I want to make sure we can get back to everything, you know? I know I don't need to. I know we're still on the no schedule thing, but I want to, at least for this week, get to everything. I want to continue on with these shows, you know? Anywho, we're just going to get on with this. Because, like I said, there's not really much else to say when I don't know what's going to happen at all. All I can really go on is based off that tiny little bit of information I have. So we'll see if any of my predictions or thoughts or wishes come true, and if not, hopefully it's still just a good episode. So, that being said, let's get this going. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so I would say that this is probably the first episode of this show that I don't like. I don't know if I would say I absolutely hate it, but I didn't like it. The entire thing with Clayface's hand was dumb. It wasn't funny. It wasn't funny. It wasn't entertaining. It was dumb. Gordon, like, I don't really care at this point. Like, I get the joke and everything with him being kind of unhinged and everything at this point, and it's mentioned in this that he used to be, I guess you could say, a normal guy who's just like a great cop and everything, but he's kind of become unhinged due to his relationship troubles and everything. A lot of caffeine, likely. But yeah, it's like, this episode didn't really do anything to change or even develop really much of anything about him. Like, it told us exactly what was going on with his family issues, but that's basically it. Like, he didn't change. He's the same as he was at the beginning of the episode. I don't know. It's just, I don't feel like there was any real difference made here. The entire thing with the critic, the cowled critic or whatever it was, it felt fine at first. Like, I liked the idea of, like, them having to deal with a critic, but I wish that could have kind of been the focus of the episode. But then they even ruined that by having it be like Dr. Psycho's son, and the entire touching moment between them was really fucking dumb. I just, I don't know what to say. There's like almost nothing about this that I actually liked. The stuff with King Shark at Blackgate was fun. I will admit that. I kind of wish we would have seen more of that, but this episode just felt just too notably different in tone, in style, in all of that. And don't get me wrong, like the show is normally very jokey, very silly, very ridiculous, but it went to a point in this episode where it was just too much. I guess you could say it went too far with that. It felt like a parody of a parody. Let's put it that way. I don't know. It's just, I didn't enjoy it. It felt like a weak, kind of pointless episode. And I don't think it is, because with this critic being the only person that the Legion of Doom really follows for that kind of thing, and him now endorsing Harley's team, it's like, yeah, that's probably going to go somewhere. I don't understand. I don't get this episode. Like, I even like the part where they were breaking into Wayne Tech and everything. And I kind of wish, again, that had been more of the norm of this episode. I kind of wish that had been what this episode was about. But again, instead, we just got random shit and random touchy-feely shit that just felt so out of place, even for the comical style of this series. Like, even the thing with Batman and Harley, and it's like Harley convincing Batman that they were both kind of wrong for abandoning their friends and shit and treating their friends bad. It's like, really? This is just getting dumb. I mean, yeah, at least from that scene, we got to see Harley's butt, so that's at least one plus there. But it's like, I do not see the I don't see any appeal in this episode. I'm actually kind of dumbfounded, because I've been really enjoying this series. I've been really loving this series, and it's like, then you have an episode that is so notably unenjoyable for me. It feels weird. It feels wrong. It feels unnatural. And again, like I said, I wouldn't necessarily consider this absolutely terrible or anything. It was watchable, and it didn't kill my interest in the series or anything. But it's like, I'm just really like dumbfounded at how much I didn't like it compared to pretty much everything else in this series. Also, we know Clayface can imitate voices and shit too. Why was he not doing that in this episode? I'm just, I'm almost a little irritated by this one. And I know it's just one episode. I know that it'll probably get better with future ones, but and I know that every show has bad episodes. Every show, even my favorite shows, have episodes that are lesser quality. The only one that I can possibly think of that I can't think of a bad episode for is Carol and Tuesday. It has weaker ones, but I wouldn't. I can't. I could not figure out a single bad episode with that show. But like, Other shows I love, like My Hero Academia, even Legend of Korra, which was my favorite show for so long. Yeah, there's definitely weak episodes of that. Hell, the first half of season 2 was weak. But yeah, it's just like I just didn't like this one. I just I felt there were so much more better things they could have done with Gordon, and just so many ideas in here were good, but they were just mishandled in my eye. But again, at least we got to see Harley's butt, right? Like that's a plus. Like I mean, I'll take what I can get, right? Just gotta find something to enjoy, and hey, that's definitely enjoyable. But yeah, it's just I'm disappointed. I'm not It's not one of those episodes of a show that's made me angry or like super upset or anything. I'm just disappointed in it because there was so much potential to do something really cool with this episode, and honestly, it just felt squandered. Like if they had here's a good example. Here's a good idea. If they had taken out the entire bullshit dumb fuckery with Clayface's hand, they could have had Gordon maybe thinking back on his past, maybe thinking back on how he used to be. One that would have given us a glimpse at how he used to be before he became unhinged like this, which would actually develop his character properly and give us a reason to care. And on top of that, it would have just filled that time in a meaningful way. It would have given us something that wasn't just a dumb little gag for the sake of a dumb little gag. Because as it was, the entire thing with Clayface's hand, it didn't amount to anything. And that might have been the joke to a point, but it just felt worthless and really, really fucking dumb. And not dumb in a funny way either, which a lot of the series is. So yeah, I felt disappointed by this episode, but I have faith that this was an outlier and that future episodes will remain good. Um, but tell me in the comments below what you thought of episode 6 of Harley Quinn, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.